Hey guys, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and I forgot I didn't do a video for Ahsoka, so here we are. I saw this finale episode when it came out, and I have a lot of mixed feelings about it because I don't think it ends the show very well. Like, it's kind of anticlimactic, but the characters did technically finish their quest. So on one hand, they like the plot is satisfied. On the other hand, the way that we got there feels rather boring. And the problem is, I think overall, that I don't care about the characters. The show didn't make me care about the characters. And nothing that the characters did was particularly interesting in terms of how they portray the characters or how they portray the emotions that the characters had. And a lot of times, I think it has to do with the fact that we are told things about the characters' interactions. We are not shown those things about those characters' interactions. And in the case of Sabine and Ezra, the expected interactions don't happen. And I find that to be rather disappointing. I also don't find Thrawn to be a particularly interesting villain. I've never read the original Timothy Zahn's trilogy. I've never read the new saga, like the 6 books that deal with Thrawn. So to me, Thrawn is a nebulous character that everyone thinks is really, really good. And I like the portrayal. Like, I think he was probably one of the best acted parts. It is not a character that feels intelligent and well thought out, and a character that is clearly supposed to be superior intellectually to everyone else. And I find that to be rather disappointing because he loses constantly and then tries to spin it like he won, when clearly he didn't, because he didn't succeed. And so that is generally rather disappointing. So what happens in the episode is that Ezra builds a new lightsaber. He has like a Luke moment, but it is not full of wonder and awe. Rather, it is kind of very banal. It feels very not important. Now, if this was the prequel trilogy or, part of the Clone Wars, I would understand that, because at that time period, the Jedi probably went through lightsabers rather quickly. For whatever reason, they would lose them often. But even in that series, even in that part of the story, we were told multiple times, your lightsaber is your life. You need it. It is the only thing that you own, and it is a tool that is immensely necessary to a Jedi Knight. Ezra says he doesn't need one in the previous episode, and that's totally fine, but there should be some sort of like surge of music or emotion or a change in expression when he turns on a new lightsaber for the first time. Also, his lightsaber is blue this time. It used to be green, and I understand the thematic difference of like, okay, they're in a different stage of their life, so change the color of their lightsaber. But I'm pretty sure that the color of the lightsaber is supposed to denote an aspect of the character. I think the old lore was that blue lightsabers were for warriors and green lightsabers were for scholars, and that's why Yoda had a green lightsaber, and Anakin and Obi-Wan had blue ones, and Qui-Gon Jinn had a green one, and stuff like that. I think the original reason why there was a different lightsaber color was because it wouldn't stand out properly against the blue sky in Tunisia in the 6th movie, in the original 3rd movie. But I'm pretty sure there used to be an established lore for colors, and currently there is also an established lore about how the color of your lightsaber denotes your connection to the Force. And by going by that definition, Ezra should not have a blue lightsaber. So there you go. Morgan Elsbeth gets an upgrade. However, this upgrade is rather redundant because she dies immediately afterwards. And so you're left to wonder, why did she get an upgrade at all? But she got a cool, normal sword with witch flames on it, which turns it into a lightsaber of sorts, which I like. I think that's cool. I like that they lean into the magic side of things. However, my sisters use lightsabers too. Just give her a lightsaber. Why would you give her this like old, metal sword when she could have easily just used a lightsaber or another weapon like she had before, like the spear. But I think it's fine. Thrawn gets the witches to enchant a group of troopers and sends them down. Then Ahsoka's fighter gets destroyed. They use their howlers to get to the temple. They climb the temple. They are met by these enchanted troopers who turn out to be zombies. And we get a very disappointing aspect of the story here, because if you've ever seen anything about Star Wars, you know that lightsabers are a devastating and very powerful weapon that should be able to deal with just about any person or thing coming their way. And at this point, they're zombies, they're not people anymore, and so there should be no issue with the characters chopping through them like it's nothing. They do this constantly in the prequel movies, and they really should do it here too. And I don't know why. It makes it seem worse than it is, because the characters could easily destroy these troopers and get rid of the issue, but they deliberately choose not to, because we know that they know that their lightsabers are difficult weapons to overcome. And we know that they go through plastoid like no one's business, so they should be able to deal with this, with these zombie troopers. And so it's rather bad. They climb the tower, fighting the undead. Eventually, they reach the top where Morgan Elsbeth is, and Morgan and Ahsoka have a fight. The fight is relatively cool, but also kind of boring to an extent, because I know Ahsoka's not going to die, because Dave Filoni's not going to let it happen. But also, I don't know what Morgan Elsbeth is going to do. And she was sent to delay Ahsoka, so she's probably going to die. So it's a foregone conclusion, and one that I didn't find value in. And so when she is rather defeated kind of easily, I don't like it. Sabine manages to use the Force at some point, and again, I don't like this. You can argue all you want that in Rebels, Sabine was never said that she didn't have the Force, but you can't establish a very well understood thing, which is that Mandalorians by nature don't really have the Force, and then give us a Mandalorian that does through Grogu, and then remove his contributions to lore by making another character that existed before, who's also Mandalorian, suddenly have Force powers. And also throughout the series, she doesn't have any except for the right moment, which is set up correctly, but it is not good. Like, Sabine doesn't have a moment of awe, and there's no beautiful tonal shift. There's no great connection to be established here, which is the same problem I had with Ezra's lightsaber moment. And so, again, twice we've squandered this great moment. And I know that Dave Filoni can do this and make this work, because he did it with Jason earlier in the episodes, when he hears the waves, and then from the waves, the sound of lightsabers comes. That is a beautiful moment, showing a true connection to the Force and having it be wondrous. I don't like the Light of the Jedi initiative. I forgot what it's called. But one of the best things about it is that it highlights and shows you in wondrous detail what it feels like to connect to the Force. And it does that really well. And the fact that this visual medium, where it should be easier to understand, doesn't manage to do that is disappointing. And so Sabine and Ezra managed to get on the destroyer, and Thrawn leaves, but Sabine actually didn't get on the destroyer. She went back to save Ahsoka, who didn't actually need saving. And so Sabine and Ahsoka are stuck here on this planet. Ezra gets to go back home, and so the characters have gone into the underworld and saved the person they needed to save, but in so doing have been left in the underworld, and now we need a new set of characters to come and save them, or a way for them to remove themselves from the situation. In a sense, it is a good thing that it is able to recall, the hero's journey. But on the other side, why? What is the point of doing this? What do you get out of doing this? Because your average viewer, which is the people that make Disney Plus work as a service, don't care about the metaphysics of Star Wars. They don't care about the Force lore, right? So if you're sending these characters here, and they're probably going to have something to do with the Force lore because Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati are also here. And we get that really cool scene at the end where there's a statue of the Mortis gods. What is the point of that? What are you going to get out of that? And how is that going to tie into the sequels? Because we know it has to, but the sequels are not dealing with the metaphysics of Star Wars. They're barely dealing with like Jedi. They don't like those movies don't have a through line that makes sense to set up this stuff. Now, maybe afterwards, after the movies, in the time period following the movies, there might be a point, but we're not there yet. So what is the point of doing this? Why would you isolate these characters to go on this spiritual journey when ultimately it would be much more useful for these important characters, these great members of the rebellion, to be helping, people deal with Thrawn? What is the point of this? And you can argue, well, we don't know yet. That's what the point of this is, but that's not good because we already know how it ends. So anything that deviates from that in a way that doesn't actually add to it is useless and time wasting. And I don't like it. Because look, I don't like the sequels, but they happened and they're not going to be removed. So we have to do things in order to make them work. Like, the Clone Wars helped a lot of people, like the original, the prequel trilogy more. But nothing so far has managed to do that. The best thing we've done is create a new set of characters that are predominantly away from the major political things that people like, which is Mandalorian and Grogu. But most of the goodwill that we've gotten from those first two seasons has been squandered by ass shows constantly coming up and then leaving and never being satisfying to the vast majority of the fans. And I'm kind of upset about that. So it has this kind of like what I would dub the One Piece ending, which is you go around all of the other major characters, the characters that are tied to the characters from the story, and you get to see them reacting to things. So we get to see Ahsoka seeing Anakin, which is good. It harkens back to the ending of Obi-Wan Kenobi and to obviously the ending of the 6th movie. But at this point, it seems like a platitude more than a meaningful moment to me. We get to see Baylan off to find something in the depths of the Mortis world that we're in now, and who knows what that will be. They're gonna have to have a new character or a new actor play this character because sadly Ray Stevenson passed away. But I don't know if they're gonna be able to do that. Honestly, I would rather them go back to animation for this, because in animation, at least, we can get emotion out of the characters, which we weren't really able to do that here. So, yeah, I don't know. Overall, I'm pretty disappointed with the show. On some levels, there were certain things that I liked, but vastly, I am pretty disappointed, which sucks because the middle bit of the show was actually pretty great. When Anakin shows up, I thought, oh, finally, we're going to get great things. And we did for about an episode. And then it went back to being bad. And I'm not excited to watch these shows for moments. I want to watch these shows and enjoy the vast majority of them, not the vast minority of them, right? So it is what it is, I guess, but it is definitely rankling me a bit that one of my favorite things is getting worse and worse by the day. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get better. So what do I do? I mean, I can just go back and watch the original 6 movies and watch the things that I like, but that is the same as like not having anything new, which was the point of Disney buying this, was to make money off of awesome new things in the Star Wars universe, right? And so far, they've made money on mediocre and bad things, and so I don't think that they're gonna really change their way of doing stuff. So I don't know, but yeah, that's my thoughts on the episode. Sorry it's such a downer. It's just really what I feel, but I don't really want to be angry, so at best I'm gonna be upset or sad, right? So there you go. Those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought down below, and thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later.